Hello, everyone. I'm Coin Chaser. This is the Tempered Sword bracket grudge match from Bobsled and Kiri. We're doing an open seed, and I am joined by Tom, one of our mentees. How are you doing, Tom?
Doing good, doing good. Looking forward to game 3 of these guys.
While they start up, why don't you tell us a little bit about your experience? How have you been enjoying the mentor process?
Yeah, the been really enjoying learning new stuff with the mentor processes. So lots of good info for everybody. Definitely have my laundry list of things that are on my practice to-dos for Rando now.
no,
So
no, that's fantastic to hear. All right, looks like we're getting a Sank start, and we got bombs to start. That's really what we want for Kakariko, so perfect start. Like to see that. So yeah, as one of the mentors here, I can kind of tell you the process that I've been trying to, enforce on mentees about thinking and making decisions. And I'll say one of the major things is I try to get people to think of where they want to go a couple minutes before they get to a decision. So maybe like in the middle of Kakariko, before you get to race game, a couple minutes, just say to yourself, where do I want to go next? Do I have the option of Saha Eastern? Do I have the option of South Shore? And that's something I kept enforcing. Besides, of course, maybe 2/3 and 3/4 in saying, "What's your go mode? What's your go mode?" So have that idea. So hopefully that's something we can enforce on all mentees as our process. So we got a book to start, and we're going to some crab hearts. Okay. But I noticed most people decided to not do lumberjack. I do like that in an open seed. Are you a fan of doing that, Tom, in an open, or are you still checking lumberjack?
um yeah, in a standard seed like this, I totally agree with it. Boots is pretty slow access up there, so definitely feel like a thing I try and loop in a little bit later.
So one weird thing that you can do if you have booked that early is you can just go check your ped right now. You're like 2/3 of the way there. So why not just keep going that way and loop around the left, and you can just immediately know if it's a ped seat or not. That's something I would have done immediately once I saw that that was a book. But it's kind of, a weird little, nuance maybe, or very situational of just having that early of a book that many people may not think about, but I would have done it personally.
Absolutely, it feels really similar to those really early Dark World access in town here.
That is always an interesting conversation of where are you hopping in when you have your dark world immediately, or do you want to like get a little bit stronger before you have to decide what you're going to do with each now. Pretty dangerous situation. But you're absolutely right. All right, nothing much going on in Blind's hideout. We're gonna have to loop around if we want to get all our money for Mr. Bottle Vendor, or we can just skip them. I think both are very reasonable. I remember one time I did that. I didn't get 100, and so I was like, I'll get him later when I come back to Kakariko, and he had my Moon Pearl. And I was like, oh.
Oh no.
I was like, I'll come back when I have my flute or bottle, and I'll combine it. I think our runners will be, maybe not. We need one more 20. Oh, we didn't even get it. So now, see, we got to loop around now.
Never feels good when you got to do it, but maybe not.
Looks like Kiri is making the coin play. He'll get his Moon Pearl later if it happens to be. No, I'm just teasing. Let's see. Nope, Bobsled's going to get it now.
Bob's
so
going for it. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll know pretty quickly what we'll do. One thing I would encourage, though, is I would have done my map check a little bit quicker, so that way I can make that decision right now of where I want to go next. Because maybe if Eastern's pendant, it's worth heading that direction, doing Saha and Eastern to get more money for Zora. Just to help decide whether I want to do East Side or I want to do South Shore.
Just giving away a refund. Minor refund today.
Yeah. All right, Kakariko got not much going on. I don't want to turn this into a lesson, Tom, but where are you thinking of going now?
Wow. I feel like those gloves for me are going to point me to a pretty immediate save and quit back of a escape would be what I would do. Got the bombs for it as well.
100%. Absolutely. You get the golden check mark right now. You got a glove. Back of escape should be the first thing you're thinking about in an open seed, especially since we don't have anything to fight those mini Moldorms. Don't have a lot of money or anything. Yeah, that's funny that he got a flute though. So I guess he's just gonna go back and activate that now. I'll be honest with you. I would still do back of escape to make sure I have 100, and then I would do that with activating the flute. So we'll see if he makes that decision. But that is really funny. He went to Link's house. But to go back to what you're saying, I absolutely agree with you. Back of escape is the first thing I'm considering.
Just such a quick and easy 3 if you choose to do it,
100%. I'm also worried about Mini Moldorm Cave. Like, I probably want to go buy some bombs if I had enough money. Obviously, our runners don't have that, so I'm a little concerned. So hopefully we get something in the back of escape. But I probably would have, if I had to, bought 10 bombs before doing race game, just so that way I'd be ready for Mini Moldorm Cave. Kakariko had absolutely nothing. Yeah, there's our money.
Nice money.
Okay, got more bombs.
Game doesn't force a potential decision to Dark Cross. That's nice.
No. Fortunately not. All right, do we take the same? Yeah, we take the... Oh, it's flute. We got to go back. So I think that it's absolutely correct to just go activate flute. If you didn't get flute there, I think there's a very fair argument to be doing Saha Eastern if it's pendant. Just so that way you can make sure you get enough money because you're still short 200. It's definitely considered an option before you do South Shore. But with the flute, it's just so easy to do Dam, Mini Moldorm Cave, and then option select from there where you want to go if you want to do Saha Eastern after to get the rest of the money. But it's definitely something I think people should consider as an option. Especially in boots modes. Activate flute, Dam, Mini Moldorm Cave, and reevaluate where we're going. I don't think we've gotten a map check yet.
I haven't seen one myself. Oh, okay.
Got a lamp though.
No dark room. That'll be good.
I even if I'm a little bit more experienced, I still feel like a breath of fresh air when I see a lamp that I don't have to think about doing things in the dark. Okay,
totally
here
agree.
we go.
Oh.
Green Pendant Eastern. That is something I would be considering. Asaha Eastern is pretty strong play, even and just denying, if you don't get Bo to do Armos and the Green Pendants. Oh, you better get over to the one side.
Okay.
A little dangerous.
Mini Moldorms. There you go. Nice.
All right, we're good. Yeah, I wish more people would welcome the idea of just knocking out most of Eastern if they needed to get some more money. But obviously, money's not a problem. We got one in the back of Escape, and one's going to be a Mini Moldorm Cave. So if we wanted to make some Zora play, we could. Zora is in logic with a glove. If we went the way Nintendo intended.
That's true. Game doesn't care if you got a farm, right?
Exactly. It looks like we're making an early desert play.
Okay.
I'm okay with this, but there's one issue. We cannot kill the Landbow unless we get something much easier. We're not going to be able to kill him with 5 bombs, so I probably would be at least dipping Saha and probably Eastern looking for a weapon. But I think this is a little premature to go into desert first.
Yeah, there's just a couple ways you can get locked out of here, so kind of agree. I agree with the oh no. I agree. Eastern area kind of gives you some kind of quick, easy hits. But we're going to Hyrule Castle and Uncle, maybe?
Yeah, I think I'm still in that same boat where I would probably go and get 10 bombs if I'm going to make this play, because I'm not really a fan of just doing Uncle and the Uncle chest. But hey, maybe we just pull a sword or something. I think Front of Escape is a very viable option if you feel comfortable with 10 bombs. But
It's
I probably
going to be tight with their bombs now, though, right?
Oh yeah. No, I don't think they'd be able to do it. I'm just thinking that. Sorry, I lost my train. Like the same example why you said Back of Escape is really fast. Saha's also very quick. We got boots.
Yeah. Chest right right near Uncle gave us boots. Nice.
And that actually is going to give us more checks in desert because it is boots locked. Once there is not a key in that first map chest, you know that there has to be a key on the torch. So we immediately get kicked out once we get that map. Well, we are still walking with the boots, but you know it's a little weird of a dungeon, so I can understand. There's a bit of walking with those angles. We also get an Nagina check.
Yeah, I also noticed that Bobsled chose to very quickly go unlock that mountain save and quit spot, which I know I tend to do if I get flutes. Does that kind of live up to a similar sort of priority in the same way that gloves with Back of Escape does in your head?
No, I think that I would save a mountain climb with a mirror or a shot. To me, it's only 2 checks, and I'm surprised he didn't do Spec Rock also. But the fact that you can
Yeah.
just go Link's house to, I forgot about the flippers. Good memory of the flippers, because I forgot about it. Yeah, I think that saving the old man for later is fine, especially since you could just go Link's house to flute. So it's not as important to unlock the Link if the old man save spot if you have flute. But this was a good call to grab flippers and do some Zora stuff. I like this play a lot. Very smart to grab the flippers.
And I like the I like the thought of leaning into that flipper progression as well. Definitely a thing I've been trying to learn to do more myself.
What's also great with his planning was that he saved Ice Rod Cave to combine with the water stuff, so that way he can water walk. So this was a really good call to hold off on that, get the flippers, and now combine these to 5 or 6 checks. And with the flippers, since he jumped down there, he can water walk off the waterfall, which is perfect. As long as he doesn't touch any of the
shallow water.
Yeah, exactly. That's gonna break it. He'll just swim. Oh, we got a bow there. And it looks like Kyrie will get his boots. We'll see what he decides to do. This is not the worst if you wanted to do front of escape. But let's see what he decides to do with the boots. We got Fire Rod.
Okay.
Now we have a weapon to fight Lanmo. If we have enough magic. It's a little challenging. We should flute here. Good. Fluting back to 8 is much faster. Like that. And it looks like we are taking the 8 bombs to front of escape. Again, I'd probably lean more toward doing Saha real quick for 3 checks. Maybe consider doing Eastern just to see if I can get a weapon rather than 8 bombing it. But more power to you to anyone that does 8 bombs. Okay, just a bunch of love here. Just hold the bomb up to him. Oh no! Okay, we got him. The explosion lasted long enough. It's gonna get a little dicey
Escape
now.
is definitely one of those stay calm when you're doing it.
Yeah.
Don't
well, we'll
panic.
get exactly. Don't panic, right? Well, we got 1 heart here at least. Maybe we even kill the guard to see if he drops anything. That will help. Oh, did you see what was on the edge? I missed it. I looked away.
I didn't quite catch it myself.
All right. Well, we'll get it if it's important. We have the flippers. Too exciting of an escape. Okay. Or he dodged it.
Oh, hook shot. Okay.
That's really good. That's a vanilla boomerang. So now, this is when I probably would be like, old man, get to East Mountain, combine that instead of making it 2 checks. But you know what? I like the Saha play just in case it's a hammer. Because boy, it would feel real bad if I do all of the East Mountain and then get in the hammer and Saha and be like, oh, I have to go all the way back for Hera. So I actually do support this play of knocking these 3 out. Very good. Very smart. You don't need that. Okay, we got a bottle. Do we turn in the bottle or are we going to go to the mountain? Or Eastern, obviously. That's another option. I think it's completely fine to turn the bottle, make sure there's not a hammer there. Go to the mountain, but it looks like we are going to make a desert play.
I could see that. I could see it.
I think if I would have done this, I would have filled up on magic and maybe even put a pot of magic because you only get 6 shots. Oh, I'm sorry. You need 6 shots and you only get 8 of your magic.
Yeah.
So this is a little challenging. I mean, bombs count as fighter sword, so it'll count as basically if he misses 1 fire rod shot, he can use 4 bombs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's dicey right now whether he can finish Lambo. So we'll see what happens. There are some pots in this room that do have magic.
There's not a magic full in this dungeon, right? It's a bunch of small manas, I think.
I don't think so. I agree with you. I have never seen that thing attack like that. That's crazy. He woke up from the hook shot. That was insane. I've never seen that. Crazy. That was the first time for me. He's not even picking up some of the magic. So maybe he'll just do like a front of desert and then he'll come back for the boss. Hoping he gets like Titan's Mitts and a Moon Pearl. I'm sorry. Yeah. Basically,
like
being able to get into the back with a mirror. But,
that would make sense.
Yeah. All right. So Kyrie got flippers. Are we going to do some Zora stuff as well? Looks like it.
Yeah.
You also skipped Ice Red Cave. Very good play to combine the two. Okay. We haven't seen right side yet because now we have the boots this time. Do we have another weapon? We have a boomerang. That does not work. That does not have effects. So, yep, we're gonna save that for later. We're not doing a Gina, I don't think, on Bobsled's side. But is the mountain calling us right now? One tip I could give people about setting up the water walk: you don't have to be that close to the hole. Like you got to be close, but you don't have to be like 1 or 2 pixels away. You can be pretty comfortable away, so don't feel like you have to like chance yourself of falling in the hole. And there's our mitts.
Okay.
Do we just go check King's Tomb right now? Do we react and realize that? That's always a tricky thing sometimes, where like something opens and you don't realize it's right next to you, and it looks like Bobsled is not falling for that. Bobsled was trying to press boots. That's okay. All right, so we're just a Moon Pearl away at this point. And more power to him. Now he has more mountain stuff if he wants to give Super Bunny its true name and do some Super Bunny checks out of logic. Those mitts. I'm assuming Moon Pearl's on the mountain at this point. Personally,
done his...
I'm just gonna check to make and see his bow. We have a bow on Lake Hylia.
This is definitely one of those the LJs can't hurt you today, right?
We both skipped it, right?
Yeah, I believe we did. those mitts, I would in my head, I was like, is he gonna go bonk chest and then check it on the way up? I know if it was me, the mitts would have distracted me there.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm not checking it for a bit. I'm just gonna save that for a much later problem and just want to get my Dark World access. Mitts is gonna unlock so much once we get our Dark World that I'm not too worried about a lumberjack. Got our 7 checks of Paradox. We're begging for our Moon Pearl.
Oh, Moon Pearl. or Hammer, you know.
Hey, Hammer, get
Give
us
you
some
more
Hammer
Hera.
access. Absolutely. Listen, if there's one item in this game that I want to find earlier than later, it's always Hammer. With having to deal with how many awful dungeons you can kind of have to dip into in order to find their Hammer. Okay, there's our Moon Pearl. So we have our Dark World access of CAC. But I completely agree with continuing here.
That screen just probably got very green on that tracker too.
Absolutely. Okay, Kyrie definitely following along with Titan's Myths. See if he remembers to do King's Tomb. Nope, he's going to skip it for now. So I'll tell you, if you want to be a little bit more aggressive, you could save Spiral Cave for later. Just be like, oh, I got all this Dark World to do. Let me go check out what's going on there. It's aggressive, but it's definitely something you could consider. Just to put that out there. If I remember correctly, I think the small key's in Dark Cross. I don't think we ever found that. So that's good to not have to worry about. But it looks like we're going to clean this up. That way we don't have to worry about something here like a hammer or a mirror. Because that would be really bad if we left that on the mountain.
Oh, yeah.
Alright. Phoenix has confirmed the small key is in Dark Cross. I was pretty sure, but thank you. I appreciate it. Just a piece of heart today. Alright, so probably gonna get our Dark World. We'll do a good map check to see where our crystals and pendants are, and we have to decide: are we gonna see what's going on in Skull Woods? Are we gonna dip into Thieves Town, or do we make some aggressive play just to hype cave and see what's going on? Because we can't finish any dungeon right now. We don't have a way to get to Mothula for Skull Woods because we need a sword to cut, and we can't harm the blind right now. So the question is, do we dip into one of those checks or one of those dungeons to look for stuff? You know, I should have mentioned EDM. This is much better play than me talking about West Dark World to be knocking out these 6 checks, especially for a hammer or a sword. So I do like this from Bobsled. What was your usual go-to, Tom, when it comes to having weak equipment or only being somewhat able to finish dungeons? Do you like to dip them? Like front 4?
I feel like Thieves Town lives in the world where front 4 is almost always overworld in my brain. And I've been around long enough watching Randomizer that Skullwoods just lives in my brain as it's got something. I know it's not as much as it used to, but yeah, those are 2 that I'm very willing to dip.
Okay. I think those are very valid. I don't think there's an exact right answer when it comes to that. I have a bit of a hot take when it comes to Thieves Town of you generally want to just do the whole thing or do none of it and save it for later, especially since we have very quick access to Dark World with our Flute and Titan Smiths, which I know is not as common as everyone else, but I do usually encourage that. I also encourage a quick, maybe a little mire shed. Maybe you'll snipe a hammer or a sword there as well, and that might help you decide what you want to do for West Darkwood, or maybe even a mirror.
So true, and
with Smith chain stuff.
With mire also being needed, you also get to chain that with the knowledge of, those pesky medallions that can just be sometimes in really bad places.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. So we're going to get a nice quick little shovel. We don't have the mirror to do it on our way to Hype Cave, so I don't hate it. I like it. Just bombs today. Well, you might as well pick them up. You earned it. You got 3 to fill the 10. Oh, I think we just remembered our Dark Worlds in Kakariko. We were thinking about Hype Cave. It's green on our tracker, but it's a little bit of a path to get there, so... looks like we're going this way. All right, let's see what Bobsled decides to do. If he wants to played a little bit conservative, make sure he doesn't miss this hammer, or kind of be aggressive and make his way to Hype Cave. We did see crystals for both Skullwoods and Thieves Town. We're going straight to Va. Village of Outcasts. I think all we did was get a shovel on Dark Death Mountain, which was surprising. So here's something I like to talk about with mentees when you're in this scenario where Hammer does not show up. When you make your play towards Hype Cave, you are going to make a very conscious decision whether pod is now or much, much later. Because the only way to get to pod is to start from Dark Kakariko. And you have to kind of make a pretty strong decision at that point. And hence why I explained that I'm a little bit more conservative about really making sure I don't dodge a Skullwoods or Thieves Town, or make sure I'm not missing my hammer. And that bow is actually pretty funny. So I guess our second bow is on Lake Hylia at this point, since we don't have mirror. But that's something to be very conscious of when you get to Hype Cave and you have not found your hammer yet.
True. The flipper option to go around there is
Exactly.
It feels like one of those things that can so easily get forgotten. Just like how you can have your it's over on the right side of the pyramid. There's also that flipper access that can be easily forgotten.
Yes, exactly my point. Now, bow leads me more towards that pod play if I'm heading to Hype, so you're not going to get bow locked out. So everything but the bosses in logic.
Yeah,
You got at least four checks. You're just getting absolutely hit by every enemy right now. Thieves Town. Does not feel great. The King's Tomb, we're going to do that on the way. Okay, are we going to keep continuing Thieves Town, looking for a weapon, or are we out of here? We're going to have a hard time fighting blind. Okay, it looks like we're walking out. I think we're saving a fairy, if I remember right. So that makes perfect sense. I gotta go up. It's okay. We'll get there. It's a weird place to have to take that door. Not many people take that exit door. I see 2 disappointing people that do not want to do my favorite check of Meyer Shed. I'm very disappointed. That's okay. They're saving for the mirror.
Definitely.
I get it.
Yeah. I don't know. I definitely, my brain has that lodged in there as well. Of like, you get flute and mitts. Man, Meyer Shed is almost top of my list to just go observe, especially if I got a crystal it, you know. Oh,
here's our sword. All right.
We can kill things easier now.
We can definitely do that. I like the continuation, at least to Hype Cave, and we can reevaluate there. If we don't get our hammer, we're going to have that choice I talked about. But now we technically have 3 crystals to complete. Oh, we have a Master Sword. We have 2 swords on our way. Okay. Feeling a little more comfortable with a Mothula fight, as well as completing Desert. Where is this hammer? The hammer is like the main item we need to really clean up and make everything accessible to feel more comfortable. I think reevaluating a Hype Cave makes the most sense. So now, what do we do now? Do we make this pod play now, making sure and protect against a hammer in pod, and do Pyramid Ledge like you said, or do we just start knocking out some crystal dungeons? What are you thinking?
Man, I feel like I'm gonna be saving and quitting and making sure that I can do Skull and Thieves Town. Just clean those up is probably the first thing I'm gonna do. I'm aware of that pod, but the no hammer kind of spooks me. I don't feel as spooked by no hammer Thieves Town.
No, I absolutely agree with you. If there was an item on Landmo, I might consider doing that first. I don't think there is, so we can just do that whenever. We just have to worry about it if when after we complete Skull Woods, actually, because then Red Bomb is a thing. Actually, I'll talk about Red Bomb in a few minutes, but I agree with you. I think that knocking out Crystal Dungeons now is probably the most important thing. Oh no, no, just let
Oh
him hit
no.
you. Yeah, let him chase the stuff, and then he'll leave you alone once he bops you when he was recollecting. We have a very niche situation that should be a little bit worrisome, just a smidge. When we complete Desert and Skull Woods, Red Bomb is available, but there is one problem. We cannot take Hammerpeg Cave because because we don't have the hammer. And so the only way to do that, logically, is to beat Agawam. It's a very strange situation. You could do some splash deleting a couple times, which is very tricky with the Red Bomb, but is a possibility. Actually, I don't think you can do it without the mirror. So I think that we should be a bit wary if Hammer does not show up for a bit, that there could be some Agawam situations.
Yeah, super, super rare. You're right. I think I've seen that once ever.
Sean brought up a very good point that Kiri kind of just took that sword and went straight back to Thieves Town and missed out on that Master Sword. So he's going to have to come back for that hopefully soon.
If there is one dungeon where you don't really mind too much a lower power sword, Thieves Town feels like it's the one. Boss doesn't
Thieves
care
Town
what your
does.
power is.
No, agreed. Since the boss, does not matter with the damage, but Skull Woods may be a different story to be fighting that Lambo. You don't want to be slashing him 16 times. So another thing I like to talk about is that when I'm marking my crystals and pendants, I say to myself, what items am I possibly never going to see? And one of those items is, since Swamp is pendant, I should be thinking to myself, this could be a mirrorless or a hookshotless seed. So there is a chance we may never see the mirror. And for us to complete Desert, we do have to use the book for it, which we have, fortunately. That's something I like to, almost reverse in my head of saying, which items could I possibly find in GT? Obviously, we need a hookshot unless we're hovering GT. So hookshot's still going to be important, even if it's a pendant swamp. But I like to sometimes think about the opposite of those things, of what items may I never see. And right now, mirror is one of them. So we do need to put that in our consideration.
Absolutely. Definitely a good thing I've learned to kind of take inventory shortly after, you get all your map info for Light and Dark World. To kind of just take stock of what you need and what you could not need.
Yes. Nope. Exactly. I've slid up to 11 hearts already. It's pretty nice. I like that. I also like this check of stun prize. And it's hearts. Oh, that's very good.
Very nice.
So yeah, I'd just be like hooking things. I'd be throwing pots at everyone that I hooked. Back up on those if you're a little bit worried. Yeah, pots do tempered sword damage if you did not know. We got a red cane.
Oh, nice. Also a huge fan of hookshot picking up hearts in that kind of situation. Try and steal one of the double hearts you can get.
Yeah, there is this weird duping thing. If you hookshot a heart in certain rooms, you can get a second heart by luck. We skipped the big chest, so I'm trusting Kiri has counted 4 items and looked at his tracker. So we are heading up. We got a red cane in the basement, so that's going to make things a lot easier for us. We should have that discussion of what is our go mode. We're kind of getting to that point, as a lot of dungeons are open to us. Oh, we need an ice rod for TR. We need that hammer still. Anything else? Maybe a medallion?
Definitely Quake for TR, but I don't think we've seen Misery Mire, right? I don't think we've been over there yet.
Yep. Oh, you're right. So Quake is definitely one of them. But I can tell you, if I was playing the seed, I'm still stressed. I'm like, oh my god, I still don't have my stupid hammer. Oh, there it is. Look, it came up.
Okay.
But I would have
Speaking
been
of,
like, yeah, I know. Speaking of the hammer, now I feel a lot better. So maybe if you felt comfortable, if you dipped that Skullwoods, played a little tight, it would have been you would have had a much easier decision when you got to Hype Cave whether you were going to continue to pod or not. But yeah, no, we got the hammer, and now he's going to go do Thieves Town. And I misspoke earlier. Kyrie was smart not to do Big Chest because he didn't have hammers. There was no way to get there. So I'm hoping that there's not an item there for Kyrie. That actually was pretty wise to do Skullwoods first. I agree with you, Dark Devil. I think that that Master Sword is going to be a bit brutal, especially if we're going to try to complete Moth with a fighter sword. It's going to be pretty challenging. Maybe he'll get that hammer forehand. That's why we're doing the front, and that'll make the fight a lot easier if he feels comfortable with hammer. Especially if there's like a small key here to just push him to the left door. It's not, though. It's a heart container. I forgot. So now he has to fall in order to get his hammer. Will he do so? Unfortunately not. You're going to get more hearts, though.
yeah, Fighter Sword Moth definitely on. I can't speak to everybody, but I know it's definitely on the list of make sure it's at least practiced, because you don't want to do it, but sometimes you find yourself in a situation where it's like, well, I guess I gotta.
Well, what I'll say is prepare yourself. You're giving yourself a chance to do a fighter sword, then maybe grab a potion beforehand. Have enough for that you can do some more fire rod shots than slashes. And if you could do more spin attacks, that actually does twice as much damage as a slash. And obviously, if you have that extra potion that I described, go fire rod him. Like, that's going to make things a lot easier than you trying to dodge every spike. The sooner you can get the fight done, the better. You will be put
Absolutely.
in situations where you have to take a hit.
And pretty sure their bottle was fairy, right? They still both have one. I don't
That
think
is
I've seen
true.
them use it yet.
So no, there's definitely a benefit to that. But I think dumping a fairy for a blue potion or a green potion would be more efficient if you have to do Skullwoods.
Oh, absolutely agreed.
Okay, there was an item here, but luckily it wasn't anything for Kiri. So hopefully he says in his mind, "It's dead to me, and I don't have to come back." So let's see if Kiri does the same thing that Bobsled did, which was really smart. Which was that he used ether to clear out all the mummies. It's very quick, and that way you don't have to sit there slashing. But Kiri says, I don't care. I'm just going to use my fire rod shot. So it's going to cost him an extra magic because that hand came down. Oh, all right. We're going in true fighter sword style in a moment.
Oh, man.
Exciting. So the general rule I tell people for this fight is if he comes towards you, slash him. If he's at the top and he hides by the spikes, then shoot a fire rod shot. That's like the very good basic general rule of dealing with him. Hopefully we start with a spin attack, which it looks like we did. Oh, we missed, unfortunately. Oh, we're not starting off great. I don't even know if that was a slash. That might be a poke, but that one is. So we're at 5 of 16 right now. I don't know. Let's give him 7, but we are a bit nervous at the moment. Just take your time. So the catch, unfortunately. We got a fairy though, right? There we go. I think we're at 7, but the catch-22 of holding out your sword to charge it is you move slower, and the spikes are much more aggressive of hitting you. But yes, in general, you do not want to push him towards spikes, and so trying to push him towards the center is the best. And when he's up against the right side like that, you want to almost move into the bottom right corner as best you can to push him back to the center, because that's going to hit him. I think we got to be at like 9 of the 16 hits approximately, something like that. Oh god, see that look how fast he moved. That was a really quick slash. That was very good. Oh my goodness, we did it.
Nicely done.
Very impressive. Good job. Yeah, there is just this one form of moth where he rages and he goes like twice as fast as the fast. It's really weird. I remember someone sent me a clip. It was like, "Is this normal?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's rare, but it can happen. It's definitely something that happens like 20 to 30 seconds into the fight." So, but hey, we cleared out the crystal. That's huge. So hopefully Kyrie feels a good sigh of relief after that. Looks like we're doing.
Yep.
That's good. Okay, got another
Have a
bottle.
fairy.
Another fairy.
There's
Yeah.
definitely been a lot of kind of subtle, helpful practice things the mentors have shared with, you could do fighter sword Ganon to practice your spins. I've had one tell me a good way to practice your low power moth is to kind of go in and just basically go in and don't attack them and spend as long as you can dodging everything
No, that's a
to
very good
practice
exercise.
evasion.
Yeah, absolutely. So it looks like we're just doing a little bit of cleanup when it comes to some Dark World on the west. I would say it probably would be more advantageous to just go knock out Pod. You know, you got a crystal dungeon to do. We mentioned how we're only like a couple items away, so we'd definitely be leaning more towards that. Especially the fact that we don't have mirror to do like a full smith chain. But I get sometimes when you just see like one or two things on the track, you're like, I want to get it out of the way. But yeah, I'd be much more interested in bobsled heading over to Pod right now. But the armor may make things a little bit easier. Bobsled's making me look silly.
Armor's definitely nice. Yeah, this is the mirrorless smith chain is kind of tough to swallow at times.
Yeah, it feels real slow, and maybe there is something about what bobsled was is thinking, where pendant swamp means mirror is not going to be showing up, and we have to do this. But this kind of play, I think we should be thinking about when we don't have a pod, a desert to clean up, a red bomb to acquire if we go clean up desert, and we have Hera, you know. And technically, Meyer is possible if Ether shows up. If Ether is the medallion to get in. So, more points there.
Oh, okay. Bombos.
Did Bombos there? All right, well, we need another item then.
So we need both the medallions we don't have. Pesky medallions.
So it kind of feels like a dead end, but I'm telling you, that Meyer Shed, it feels real quick to do 2 checks. Kind of similar to like the back of Escape 3 or the Saha 3. And I am much more of a fan of that as well than like a mirrorless Smith chain. We're doing Hype Cave, and then we're going to turn in the Smith. It is nice to protect against half of a Smith chain just to make sure that there's no silly mirror or something. I totally get that if you're like in the area, but when you're coming from Skullwoods, I'm probably not too worried about Smith Chain personally. I would have saved Smith Chain for later coming out of Skullwoods.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Smith Chain is, I don't know, one of the kind of lives in cleanup world in my head pretty frequently.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, especially when you don't have the mirror. I do like the pod play right now from Bobsled. We got a crystal dungeon, Unga Bunga. We go do a crystal dungeon. Let's get it done.
Pod's definitely going to have the goods, right?
I would think it's going to point us in one of the directions. I don't feel like we have too much more left to, hang out in. Maybe an ice pendant might end up with something sneaky, but otherwise it's here. Era. Well, what else are you thinking that's possible? A catfish or a pyramid ledge being a little tricky?
Yeah, those would be some of the little bit more off the beaten path things that could be there. I like the idea of you said ice could have something. If Pod doesn't, I'm not generally a huge fan of touching pendant dungeons if I can help it, but Pendant ice is kind of suspicious to me.
I think that's fair. It's really annoying to get to Hera for just 2 checks. So Ice isn't looking terrible, but I think I probably do Hera first just because I'm down to 2 to 3. And I'm going to assume they're going to kind of a little bit domino into each other. But Ice is a very quick dungeon to do backwards. So cleaning up desert, I like this. That's a thumbs up. Going to Hera, probably a little bit higher on my list than jumping into an Ice. But Ice is definitely one of the pendant dungeons I'm jumping in sooner than later. And we got 4 checks in Eastern with that being a pendant as well. So definitely a few options. I understand that Hera can be a long check for 2, but is a crystal still too we got to do, and we may never find the mirror.
True.
But yeah, let's see if Pod can give us a little nudge in the right direction before we have to make some pendant thoughts or a play to Hera. Sean says he's suspicious of Eastern. I am generally too. I have given no reason why Mirror cannot just be in GT at this moment. I think it's kind of a wash, though. Like, if you went into Skullwoods immediately from Dark World, you would have gotten your hammer and made things a little bit easier, but you also would have had a double dip Skullwoods where our runners did not have to when they got Fire Rod. So, it kind of is a wash. There wasn't really anything that limited them hammer-wise from when they got it. So, just something to think about of the options of where hammer could have been, on how it could have punished you or not.
True. So, I'm assuming Kyrie's likely going to be finishing out his desert here. Whenever I've completed 2 reds, it's not necessarily the first thing that I'm doing, but I like to treat getting the 5/6s much like, hey, if you went and you got your green pendant for any reason, like, you should probably try and cash that in. Thoughts on like kind of prioritizing the turn in of those particular items?
I will say I'm a little bit slower for the exact fact that Green Pendant is much quicker to turn in than the minute and a half to turn in the Red Bomb. So
Makes sense.
I agree that I'm pausing a little bit on that, but there is a very nice clean path of like Red Bomb Pyramid Ledge into Pod that he hasn't done yet. That might feel pretty, comfy if we did not just get our Quake. Oh, I'm sorry. That was Kiri that I'm talking about. So Kiri might make that Red Bomb Pyramid Ledge to Pod play, just to play it a little bit on the safer side. But Bobsled at least has the finger point to say Turtle Rock is a possibility, but we still don't have our Ice Rod, so we're not really craving to run there immediately unless the Ice Rod shows up also. But it is definitely now a new option of 5 more checks or 4 more checks.
Ice Rod doesn't sometimes just love living in TR, right?
It does. It really, really does. It's kind of scary. Oh, Sean
Don't know
just
that I
echoing.
want that in this scenario.
I just echoed what Sean said of Red Bomb into Pod. So since we've also done Dark Tveth Mountain, that makes the whole hopping into TR looking for Ice Rod a lot harder. Because sometimes you'll just have DDM bail you out. So I don't think there's anything wrong unless you feel like you're super behind to hop into Ice and maybe try to get 2 or 3 of the checks before we make a TR play. I really do think Ice is pretty quick for a pendant Ice to try to get a couple items. There's not a whole maze to get to Ice Palace or some sinking of water to get in, similar to Swamp, so Ice feels a lot more available and quicker.
Yeah, definitely a lack of traversal times and everything. Don't gotta factor that in as badly.
We're already starting
Pod's
to
pretty
think of
much only had Quake,
scenarios.
right?
Say that again.
Sorry, Pod's pretty much only had Quake so far, right? Isn't that all I'm recalling
100%.
from it?
Yep, you're absolutely right. We're just an Ice Rod and Bombos from Go at the moment, and it looks like Kiri is going to go finish Pod and get his Quake. So we will see where our runners go afterwards. Why not Red Bomb into Pod? It's a little costly of time. Maybe you get 2 or 3 of your items, Phoenix, and if you get, they can domino into each other. I think in general, when you're 3 items from Go, I don't think he knows about Meyer shit. I could be wrong. But you might be quicker to rush the Pod and just hope Pod is your dense location. Yeah. It definitely. I don't think there's a direct answer. Is the right answer, Phoenix? Is like how aggressive do you want to be of clearing out your crystal dungeons? It's just another flute back to 4, and then you can go do Red Bomb and Pyramid Ledge to maybe Catfish afterwards, and that can be your plan B after you do Pod. Right? Everything's a flute away at the moment.
Yeah, that cleanup you mentioned kind of crossed my mind too. Could potentially pair into a Pyramid and Catfish, definitely.
I'm very suspicious that there's just no mirror this seed at this point. There's a very famous clip of a friend of mine where it was a mirrorless seed, and he found his GT big key in Rando room, and I said, so now what do you do? And he was really confused and did not know how to get back to the front. And so he opened a few more checks, and he found his mirror, and he did not have to worry about it. But in general, the answer is to Death Warp, or you're going to have to do some pretty slow stuff if you only have a red mail and maybe a fairy you want to save. But you're going to have to hoof it back, especially if you're in Rando room, because there's no way to take the portals backwards up. So you'd have to probably go past big chests. It's a funny scenario to be in if you're really in a mirrorless seed.
Hopsled thought about going towards Pyramid and then stopped.
I did see that.
Maybe he's thinking potentially turn this into bomb towards it. I don't know. Interesting.
I think this is correct. Clean up desert if there's an item there. Maybe even do Mire Shed to see if a Bombos or an Ice Rod shows up. And then consider... We're getting to that point where it's a little bit of what you feel. You're trying to math in your head of like, how long does it take me to do Red Bomb and Pyramid? How long does it take me to do 3 or 4 or 5 checks in Ice that could potentially have the item? And there's no exact answer of what the right thing versus the wrong thing. But I do like completing dungeons here. And it's very possible that Bob said, oh, once I complete Desert, I can do Red Bomb. And maybe that's where he's leaning towards.
Yeah, this is definitely feeling like the point in a seed where a lot of the mentors I'd be with would be saying much the same thing that you reiterated of, what are you feeling? Because there's not as much a right answer as there are answers.
I just want to remind you, we got a Herod to do as well still, which we could include with Spike Cave out of logic, but Spike Cave nonetheless is still an option. So we do have 3 checks on the mountain to do. So you definitely do want to put some weight into to make sure you do your crystal dungeons, even if there's only 2 checks up there. I think if I have just done Pod by itself, I would probably not bother with Red Bomb to Catfish until after I do Hera. And that would feel really bad if I'm wrong, because then it would be a second climb to the mountain. But I think that I would be making that play personally. So here's my concern, right? Remember I said we had a fire rod, but we didn't have a way to... if we didn't have a plan B without a sword before, so I'm glad we came back later. when we had a weapon to clean them up. Do you have any leaning towards Tom? Do you feel like we should be doing Red Bomb to Pyramid Fairy to protect against an Ice Rod before we do the mountain? Or you want to do Hera?
As much as I would not necessarily love the extra climb. I think I think heading up the mountain would probably be where I would personally head towards here. I still feel like there's still other incentive to keep the orphaning of Catfish and Pyramid, but the old always be clearing dungeons would probably be ringing in my ear right now.
Okay, fair enough. I agree. That's definitely where I'm leaning towards, especially since we're 2 from go mode. But I would not blame anyone that was like, you know what, I'm just feeling Eastern. Let me do one of these 3 suggestions that I'm making, of 3 to 4 checks just to clean that up. Because Eastern is still also plenty viable and as well. And until we get a mirror, we don't have to worry about Ped yet. So I would not be worried too much about Ped.
Mirror just standing there waving its arms saying, "You could come check me."
Exactly. I think Bobsled is saying I need to go do Front of Escape. I'm really terrified of an Ice Rod or a Bombos there, so we're gonna clean up what Kyrie had done earlier. Now, if you had Mirror, which we don't today, doing Red Bomb, Pyramid, and then doing Front of Escape together is really good. Now, that's like a dense 7 or 8, if we had the Mirror, of course. But that's something I do like to bring up, to get our mentees thinking about it, that you can kind of knock out a late Front of Escape as you're on the Pyramid.
Well, yeah, and feels like it. I don't know. I'm not gonna say it's rare, but it's one of those things that, yeah, definitely can be easily forgotten. That, oh yeah, over here at Pyramid, I can just mirror to do that too.
Yes, absolutely. It's definitely one of those early checks you're not considering. Um, I can't tell you how many times I'll see like a really late first glove, like in Dark World, like something really goofy, and I'm just yelling, "Back of Escape! We got 3 checks there," and you're not thinking about that at 30, 40 minutes. You're like, "I've done that," in your mind, as long as if you don't look at the tracker. So
It's kind of strange
yeah,
how some of those checks can kind of almost like compartmentalize themselves within a portion of your brain based on like the time you are in the seed. Oh no.
yeah, we were at half a heart. If you wanted to
Oh,
play this safe, if you like flipped them over, you could have like ethered to kill them and then just like rinse and repeat without giving the chance of reflipping them over. If you want to play it super safe, that could have
yeah.
been a situation. I know that's not a very common thing to do, to think, oh, I got to use medallions against the turtles, but we did have a fairy, so we can definitely replenish a potion with a quick flute after pod. And it looks
The
like we are making the mountain play over here on the left with bobsled.
the mountain kills on those turtles is definitely my preferred method if I've got them for dark rooms. If I'm
Oh,
trying to dark room that.
sure, absolutely.
You also see the explosion. You can count how many you kill.
Oh yeah, no, Bombus is very good against the turtles. I absolutely agree with that. So if Hera ends up being a bust, can you convince yourself to do some of Turtle Rock, or maybe the front 4, or are you going all the way to the edge, or are you gonna bail out on that and then go to Ice and Eastern? We got a lot of
Yeah,
decisions
right.
here. Yeah.
Man,
I would probably lean more towards probably doing Ice or Eastern at that point, after Hera, personally. I think I can
Yeah.
save Turtle Rock for later, being on the west side versus east side. I agree with Sean. I think that doing a Spike Cave out of Logic is actually very smart to do right after Hera, since we're already up here. But yeah, I think we gotta choose a Pendant Dungeon after that, personally. But it's very possible we could have something really goofy where our progression is in Turtle Rock, whether it's Ice Red or Bombos or both. It gets a little dicey. And Turtle Rock is like such a commitment, not only to get to it, but to do that long dungeon is pretty brutal. So you really don't want to be wrong in that scenario.
Turtle Rock in the scenario, if you're just coming up empty and Hera here is, I agree. It's such a tough call. There's a part of me that kind of goes, well, I walked up here. There's so many items there.
I think specifically because ice is, as I've said before, a little bit on the quicker side to clear out, and Eastern is green. I'm leaning more towards those pendants. If Terror was a pendant and Mire was a pendant, and we're only talking 1 or 2 checks, then I'd be a lot more comfortable saying no. We should just dip TR and see what's going on. But now when we're at 3 and 4 and they're on the relatively quicker side, I am definitely leaning towards that. And I'm still more convinced there is no Mirror the Seed until GT, as this continues to transpire. So I'm basically just assuming we're not going into Swamp.
Come on, Trolldorm, be kind.
Good thing to practice against Trolldorm is if you use charge a spin attack and hook shot when he runs through you. If you let go of the controller, you just put it down. When Link retracts the hook shot, he will release a spin attack and hit the back of him. As long as Moldworm runs through you and doesn't like his face isn't like right on Link when it retracts. So it's a very powerful tool. I encourage people to try out. Oh, I was silly and I forgot about an ether check. So we got 3 to 4 checks up here, not just the 2.5 one out of logic. But it's just a piece of art today.
What are we gonna do next, Bob?
He's going for the TR
Okay.
play.
Oh.
Nope. It was a trick. He just wanted to walk over there just to taunt us a little.
Fool us all.
Yeah. All right, looks like we're getting a little mirrorless check of I'm sorry, a mirrorless Smith chain, which I would still lean more towards an Eastern or an Ice personally. This feels a little bit slow to be doing these 1 or 2 checks and continuously saving and quitting. So this would probably be on the lower end of my line of train of thinking, especially if I have to get over to this area. But it looks like we're doing the red bomb to catfish play over here.
Yeah.
I think I'm in Ice before Eastern, and then I'm in Eastern afterwards, personally. I'll save the red bomb to catfish later. Yeah,
Ice
if I'm leaving
so
Hera,
fast.
I'm probably doing Ice. And I'm also probably just not even going to get the pendant. So I just want my 3 items and go. Unless I have to kill Cold Stare. Now, this completely changes if I don't have Red Cane. I'm not going into a pendant Ice if I don't have Red Cane. Then I'll be going into Eastern. Just, if that was another scenario, just to put that out there. But I think this is completely fine to do red bomb into catfish. Knock out these 3 or 4 checks. I don't think there's anything wrong with this. Got a Bombosa.
All right.
All right. Do we slash a few times? We're upset. And do we go to catfish to clean it up, or are we just out of here? We're just going to go head over to Mire. Looks like we're going to Mire.
Right.
Good red bomb. That definitely paid off. We are in our classic Ice Rod Go mode situation. Where is chat thinking they want to go? Let's say Mire does not have our Ice Rod. Where are you going, chat, for your Ice Rod? Are you just going straight to TR, or are you going to check out? Oh no, we're 1 rupee short!
Oh no.
Just kill the bush. Cut the bushes. Cut the bushes. Cut the bushes. Just cut the bushes. Oh, we're digging. We're digging. Oh, yeah. In general, bushes will give 1 rupee a good amount of the time. Okay, we got our money. We're good. We're good. We're good. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. It's temporary. That was really funny. Yeah.
That's the worst feeling every time it comes up, no matter who you're paying.
That was so funny. All right, so Chad, back to my question. If you do not find your Ice Rod in Mire, where are we going afterwards? And Tom, feel free to chip in your idea afterwards.
If I'm feeling like I'm behind in a race, I would go, okay, Ice Rod lives in TR.
Felt like you were really ahead. You think you'd grab one of them? Grab one of the pendants?
If I feel like I've played really well, and found a really good route, I'm probably gonna dip a pendant. I'm probably gonna go check Ice. Because the game's got jokes so often. Ice in the Ice Dungeon, to me, probably the one quickest dungeon I'm probably gonna check.
Huh. Aren't we throwing bottles in? That's a good question. I don't know. I see Telehar voting for TR. But he would have done Turtle Rock before Pyramid Fairy. Yeah, it's definitely something that we were talking about considering after Hera. It's just like we're already up there. You think they're filled, Sean? Oh, okay. Maybe we bought them before.
Do we get big key on the bridge chest? We got true Godmire, right?
You know what? If he did, I did not see it, and I would have actually encouraged to just rush Vidi and see if he has the ice rod. If you're one from go, just go straight to the boss. We can always come back in if he doesn't have the ice rod. So if you get your Godmire and you're one from go, head forward straight to the boss.
Yeah, that's kind of why I asked. I feel like I'd heard that mentioned somewhere.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Telefire. Meyer having only 2 items is probably a very slim chance that you're going to be getting your ice rod. But it is going to feel real bad if Turok is not our answer, and we do have to dip one of these pendant dungeons.
Nice rail skin.
Yeah, no, we got our Bombus. We got some dual Meyer action going on. See if what Kyrie decides to do when he gets that big key early. I think I'm leaning towards what Telefire says. I kind of agree with that. Like, if you're gonna leave the mountain and find your Bombos and then do Meyer, you might be kind of talking yourself out of competing against someone that does go into Turtle Rock. So you might end up having to go with a pendant dungeon at that point. That's true. Kyrie has not done Hera yet. That's a very good point that he might line up Hera into TR. Very good point. Which is probably something I would I would agree with. Very more incentivized to just knock out both mountain stuff. Alright, we got our favorite cutscene chest. See what's going on here. I famously love to leave an item in cutscene chest. My buddies always like to tease me for this. I'm just like, oh, if it's not on the boss, I'm out of here. If I'm still out of here, even if it's not on the boss. I'm just done. Today I wouldn't be punished.
I'm a big fan of not going there if I can help it too.
Yeah, especially with the big key early. Absolutely, Mr. Angry Pants. You see, the reverse though is the same, right? Like, if you can, if it's not in TR and it's anywhere else, that's also a huge commitment. You might end up losing because it's not going to commit from this situation. So it's we'll see whoever goes earliest or to committing to TR or just happens to find it in TR. Exactly. You just end up committing to last locating Ice Rod and Turtle Rock and fixing on the pendants. You're kind of deciding either or and not trying to hedge. As you can see, there is clearly not an exact answer for anyone stressing. It is just try to be as dense as possible and stick to your convictions with whatever you decide. Now, one thing we should point out is we are still Master Sword. We know where silvers are if we get mirror, if that actually does show up. So definitely not easy at the moment. One thing I will always encourage for Master Sword Master Sword Vidi is use the bow. You can kill these guys in 3 hits. Oh my god, he barely got out of there. That was terrifying. So don't be afraid to clean up. Like, he could probably pop all these guys with 1 arrow shot or 2 each, and that will be much safer than clinking with your Master Sword. So don't be afraid to be using your arrows here. You could always replenish them pretty quickly.
Yeah, with that flute, you could definitely get the immediate replenishment right in front of Ice Palace too.
100%. No, that's exactly where you want to go for your capacity fairy. The shovel is not built properly, so you sitting there might take 100 shovels to get your arrows. So I completely agree that capacity fairy is the answer. And we get a mushroom.
A
Oh
fetch
my
quest.
god. I'm
Now-
turning that in immediately, personally.
I was about to ask, how much are you prioritizing that? You get fetch quest on a boss,
First
right?
priority overnight mail. I will take it immediately. It is a flute away, and it will absolutely save me any jumping of dungeons that I'm about to do. I am in there. Like our runners agree. If there's ever a dungeon or something you're a little bit concerned about, it really only takes 30-40 seconds to replenish a blue potion or something. So don't be afraid to say to yourself before a fighter sword, master sword, Mothula fight, let me just go flute over there. Or even before you make a climb to TR and potentially GT and Ganon, fill up your potions if you have the money. It is absolutely worth that expense of 30-40 seconds.
I agree. It's also one of those things for me that lives psychologically of like, I'll do it and half the time I don't need it, but it's almost like you play a little bit more free in my eyes when I do it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We got a spammer of the Master Sword in the corner. This is absolutely terrifying, and also it's kind of working. So I kind of like it, but I kind of don't like it. I would personally rather to be doing like a lot of spin attacks, and then I'll go and spend my potion, and then do some more spin attacks. And like I said, clean up the rest with arrows. Okay, we have a TR play. We are not doing Eastern or Ice over there. Let's see what happens. Let's see.
Going for gold. I like it. I like it.
We still have a what? We still have a catfish. Do we have anything really else? A spike cave out of logic? We didn't do that, right? Did we do that?
I don't think we did it. Yeah, I think it's out of logic spike cave as well.
I think that's just what we got. And like I said, neither of our opponents have dipped even the front of Eastern or Ice yet.
And yeah, I'm pretty sure just pendants at that point.
Good. I do like this mushroom play. Yeah, we're not saving anything at the moment right now. We're not sure what a portal is or how to spell it. But it would be nice if we did find a mirror. Okay. Oh, we got a tempered sword.
Nice sword.
Yeah, we have violence. That's good. I like it. We could have a very interesting situation of a mirror on Laser Bridge, and we got to go back to Mimic Cave for Ice Rod. We always like that, right?
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Actually, wait, I can make it much worse if you like. We go to Laser Bridge and there's nothing there, and then we find our mirror later, and we have to eventually last locate a Mimic Cave that our Ice Rod is there the whole time. Oh. We just find our mirror in a different location after TR.
That'd be far forward.
Yeah, exactly. Well, looks like we're both making the TR play.
Yeah, hair first. Nice.
Hair first, absolutely.
Don't forget. Never want to forget that. Can say I've never, done TR and then walked over and been like, oh, that's right, I'm one short. I gotta be Hera. Whoops.
Oh man, these chomps are not being very nice. All right, they'll let him pass now. Tempered Sword makes this feel a lot comfier. I was honestly interested if we did end Master Sword silverless and we found the mirror if someone was going to go to Lake Hylia to get their silvers just to make the Ganon fight easier. But I think at this point with Tempered, you should feel comfortable enough to not bother getting the silvers.
That would definitely be a call to make if you're on Master Sword at that point. Especially if I don't know, if you're feeling really ahead, do you push going Master Sword, or would you still go for that time save?
I think that I am so stubborn that I would go in there and be like, I can do this. I got this, and I would just do Master Sword silverless. Personally, I can understand anyone that does not feel comfortable with the fight to do a different. You should do what feels comfortable for you. If you're someone that's like Master Sword silverless is not something you feel comfortable with, and you're gonna save time by getting to Lake Hylia, then you should definitely do it.
Yeah, deaths are always the slowest thing, right?
Oh, I just thought of something. Talk about Lumberjack since the beginning.
It's true. I think
I would have checked that before going to TR. That is very possible that our Ice Rod's there or Mirror's there to open up Swamp.
Hey, there's that hookshot tech you talked about. I like it.
I did. So you see how? Oh wait, he got the second one, which was lucky, which was good. But yes, you want to make sure that he's coming after you, and yes, it's a very good. Yeah, that's perfect. That was the perfect timing to do that hook shot.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. You take advantage of his little aggro moment going at you. I like that.
Thank you, Kyrie, for showing that off. All right, it's our favorite place. It's Laser Bridge. We have our progression coming up.
I was so impressed by those hook shots. Did we go out through the cave for mimics if there is a mirror? I mean, like if you have to mirror back for mimics potentially, did we go out the appropriate cave for that?
I think we had to because Big Key was vanilla, so we're not doing any dirtying of the small key if that's what you're considering. So yes, I believe so. I mean, you still want to check Big Chest for Ice Rod. You either do Mimic Cave right away or never. I think you kind of have to do it. I don't think it's that much waste of the time, but I guess that you could consider skipping it. Oh, it's not here. We only have a small key in that chest. We might as well get it, though, since we're here. But our answer is not Turtle Rock.
Darn.
Just hook shot him. Okay. You can just hook shot and then just walk through a beetle, especially one that has so much health like that. You can open it if you want, but you might as well just save and quit personally. Yeah. It's okay. All right. So, what were we talking about? We're talking about Eastern. We're talking about Ice. Catfish and Lumberjack, I think, are our last few checks right now. Unless we find our glorious mirror to open up, the rest of the world. I think we're leaning towards Catfish at the moment. So this is definitely something I see a bunch of, very common Menti kind of mentality of I want to dodge as many pendant dungeons as possible. I get it. But you gotta start saying to yourself, that's the densest thing. The amount of time it's going to take you to get to Catfish and then have to make a different decision is a bit costly. So I highly encourage an Eastern or an Ice play at this moment.
Yeah, I know it's definitely been a tough thing to thinking further ahead is like one of the bigger things to like. Takes practice more than you'd kind of think. I know that I personally for a while would use runs like bobsled to plan out because clearly I wouldn't, at least for myself, wasn't planning out far enough in advance to guard against what am I going to do next. So big mantra one of my mentors was talk with me about is like asking me going into boss fights, hey, if we don't get what we're looking for, or late in a dungeon, like if we don't get what we're looking for, where are we going?
100%.
Kind of prompt it.
Oh god, those freaking chumps! Just ate all of his hearts. No, you're 100% correct. You should be thinking as you're heading to Laser Bridge or as you're doing Crystal Roller Room. If Ice Ride is not here, where am I going? If I get Mirror, where am I going? So that way you'll be prepared when if the fourth chest is not your friend. Absolutely agree.
I agree, chat. I have maintained for many years that Chomps is one of the worst rooms in the game. I hate it.
Don't want to wait for him down there because then they really block you. Okay, we just take the hit. We accept one punishment and we just hold forward. I'm okay with that. And we've elected on Eastern. It is more checks because we can turn in a pendant afterwards.
It's like the trade-off, right? You get the extra check versus, I mean, Ice is a little faster. If you have to, I don't know, if you have to like kind of full clear it for your item.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird situation. I'm trying to think like, the first three checks a little bit more denser together compared to Eastern being a little spread out, but at the end of the day, Eastern's is quicker to complete. So there's a weird trade-off there, but I don't think there's a wrong play in this scenario.
No, definitely not. The only wrong play is the one that doesn't have the item we need, right?
Yeah, kind of. Do you? I mean, I don't think Eastern's the one you meta because it's green pendant, but you find two items real quick and you're like, oh, I don't want to go all the way to Armos, so I immediately go to Ice, and then you start to get into your own head about that kind of stuff. But I think once you say to yourself, Eastern's my pony, we got to get this green pendant. I really hope I'm not right about Lumberjack. I'm just putting that out there. I'm sorry I brought that into the ether.
You're sorry that you gave the universe the idea.
I'd be doing it last. I would absolutely be doing Eastern, then Ice, or Ice, then Eastern. And then I would be checking that. Yeah, I agree with you, Josh. When you start to get down to the last 10 checks or 6 or 5, you're not skipping anything. There's just too much weight in leaving something for last and having to go somewhere else. So I absolutely agree with you. You think you would have leaned more towards Ice just because that was a later dungeon to do or checks? I think that's very valid. I think so too. I think that's completely acceptable. Will Kyrie follow towards Eastern, or will we get an Ice check? Is the question. Have our last item on Armos.
Right.
We did mention Spike Cave. It's not in Logic, but I probably would be staying away from it just to stick to the Logic checks until I find a Blue Cane or Cape, but something like that shows up, it could be our answer. But I think once you get to Turtle Rock, you're no longer thinking about Spike Cave at all. You're just like, Logic checks, there's only 6 or 7 left or whatever, 8 left. Let me just stick to those before I do some out of Logic Spike Cave.
Yeah, Spike Cave Logic's definitely one of those that I have I have like some notes that I take with like a standard reminders, and the bottle life situation, the number of hearts and bottle technically giving me Spike Cave is definitely on there, so I don't forget that, like, in the
Do you have it
situation
in
they're
front of
now,
you? Like the general rule is like what?
It's
Cape in a
there.
bottle or something like that?
Yeah, or like I feel like half magic plays into it, maybe as well.
In my mind, I just say to myself, Cape needs a brother, a bottle or a half magic, and Blue Cane is all good on its own. That's in my mind at least what it is. But someone could correct me. And, it's burner or Cape and 2 magic bars. So there you go. All right, Kiri has unfortunate news. It is not on TR. So let's see. Will he make an ice play or something else?
Pendant turn in. Ah,
Not Eastern
just
today.
a heart.
Are we getting a lumberjack check? I think so. I think so. Now, for our mentees, I will tell you if you flute to 8 and take the whirlpool north of you, it's a little bit faster than to run up to lumberjack to save a little bit of time, but nothing to think about. All right. Has coin cursed the seed? Let's see.
Let's what?
I couldn't even see what it was.
I didn't even see.
It's not even that exciting. Who knows? It's more exciting. Are we rushing Aga?
If he flutes the 4, we know, right? Okay. Darn.
Oh, we are going to ice, though.
But he's going straight to ice.
That's huge. Can you imagine, like, you hop over there and you just see, like, a, what you would call it? Like a mushroom, a shovel, or a powder, and you're just like, I don't know what I should do now. Fortunately, we're out of those, but that could have been an option. Not the ice rod.
Fetch quest up there would be just mean.
It's brutal. When you read that on PED, you're just like, what am I supposed to do with this? What's going on here?
Ice.
One left click there. Gonna keep going. So if you're ever feeling like really far behind and you find a cape or a blue cane, or you're like, I just have to assume it's not nice. I gotta go to Spike Cave. Does that lean you in a different direction? Oh man, it gets in your head, right? When you're an hour 26 in and you're feeling very stressed.
Yeah, it's definitely tough to not sort of push your successes or your miscalls onto your opponent. Just be like, did they do the same thing I did? Did they
100%?
last locate a thing? Are they? If you're ever in a jet seed, like, are they in a jet? There it is. Are they in a jet seed too?
Yeah, no, absolutely. But there is our ice rod.
Game's got the jokes.
We did it. Here, 4 or 5 rooms behind, so it definitely can come down to some fun GT routing and stuff. So we're not too far behind since he gets to dodge Eastern this way. I do like the magic grab. I'm totally okay with that.
Say 100%. Nice call on the get yourself potions.
Why not just grab a blue potion now? What are you saving money for next seed?
Is he on red mail at this point? I think.
We are, but I still grab the blue potion. We're continuing for mirror. Okay. That is insane. I'm not gonna lie to you. That mirror could save time if your GT big key's in a really silly spot. I wouldn't have considered it, but you know what? Not the worst thing to do one more check below you. Because maybe like you get mirrored and then you do convince yourself to get silvers or a gold sword. I don't know. It's one more check. It's only a couple more seconds. It would have been hype. I'm not a fan of going through the Dark World. It's a little bit slower to go through Super Bunny. You're going to lose a little bit of time, but the Dead Rocks are helping out right now, Kiri, to slow down Bobsled's progress. So the payment was done correctly.
Worst enemy in the game.
Yeah, no, there's nothing. These Dead Rocks are the worst. But Kiri just want to show off his hookshot skills, so he gets redeemed. That was pretty good. And when we dodged the Dead Rocks, that's what happened. Oh, Methyl, it could be anywhere. We could just have it in GT at this point. We don't need a mirror because Swamp is pendant today. If there's still an item, it could just be on Trinex. In GT Big Key, it absolutely could be.
And imagine having to go super deep in and being irritated that you're gonna have to get a key and find a way back to the front. You get your mirror right after. Immediate relief.
It is. No, it definitely is. Yeah, no, that's why I'm like imagining like Ice Big just had the mirror, and now you just have an easier path to the to getting to the climb of GT. Is just it's such a big brain play, honestly.
Pokey.
Yeah, they're goofy enemies to deal with when you kind of have to just be super close to be able to get that double spin.
Never fun when they get away from that double spin.
No, they're not. No, they're not. But it looks like we got a couple of cleanups, so we're good now. And yeah, we're like I said, we're like 3-4 rooms difference right now. Very exciting. Yeah, so Pokies are for Mario, not today. We're in the same room.
They can see each other.
Yeah, right? All right, well, what is your GT routing, Tom, when you like to do GT? What are you generally doing?
I'm big on formerly known as Dark Magician strat. I like to... Well, you don't have mirror today. So in this case, I'm probably going to go hope, and then if it's a key, I'd probably go right to continue that out.
No, very interesting. I am definitely more under doing like a hope left when I don't have mirror. I know that sounds a bit weird, but when you're at after compass chest and you want to get that small key, I mean, unless you're like damaging yourself and you're planning a death warp after compass room, not a bad idea, but it's tough because you do feel like you're committed to one or two directions when you don't have mirror. It is a very rare and weird situation to be in. But
Yeah,
I don't
it's
think
not...
there's anything wrong with what you're saying. As long as you know you're kind of taking hits on the way, maybe. And that way, when you pull up that small key in that last room, you could just jump in the hole a few times and clean that up.
Yeah, I'd be letting those mummies do work in the Samaria room.
Burnap going hope left. I see Sean rushing rando room. Got some guesses in chat for where the big key is. Like it. Yeah, we will compare times in just a moment of this GT entry. We have our... Oh, please don't fall, bobsled. Oh god, that is a terrible place to fall and have to reclimb to the right side. No, it's not very common, Elgo, but it is definitely something to think about. Okay, so we got a 13305. Oh, full 4? Okay, oh, it's full 4.
Well, I guess it depends on if you're taking the black screen or not.
Well, we don't have too much of a decision. We don't got any small keys, so I guess we're going
No
all
choice.
left and just going that way. We don't have to worry it'll be in basement. I'm glad you have confidence, Vortex. We've done 3 checks so far. We got over here. Key. Small key. That's
The keys now.
Yeah, we found the keys now. And yeah. Let's check 7. Gonna come down to some climb and execution. That's We're taking the same path. Our beloved Mirror Shield. For those that really struggle with the skeletons, Ether is very quick to clean them up. So don't be afraid to use that if you have the magic to spare. Chasing these guys is kind of annoying. Like, I like the stun, getting them done that way. But don't be afraid to Ether if you feel it's a little dicey. And they just keep jumping. Don't be afraid to use the pots. Okay, you did the left side, so that's fine. But you can always hookshot the pots if the skeleton blocks that column. Just so you know. Got our half magic. Keep going. It's not random room today.
Keep going and going and going. D-boost through there? Sure.
Oh, me of a beetle sometimes. Oh, let's go. Spike Cave has our mirror. Let's go back. Imagine if you did get mirror in Spike Cave. That would actually really mess with my head of whether I was going to go look into a Penton dungeon looking for the Ice Rod. If I found that first, a mirror first out of logic, I actually would lose my mind if I put myself in that situation. I want to stay in logic, but I also would consider not. I'd at least probably get my silvers on my way to ice if I was going to stay in logic. Oh my god, we got both on here.
All right.
Not mirroring. I'll tell you that right now. Definitely zooming out of here. Now, do we spend the key or do we just go around all the way? I spend the key. I'm over the seat already. I'm gone. Yeah, we spend the key. Let's go.
By room, it's definitely not in, right?
What'd you say?
I said goodbye room that the big key is definitely not in.
I'm still giving up a little time here. I understand you want to save magic, but you got half magic, so I'd just be burning fire rods here. I think you're asking for a little bit too much trouble and giving a little bit more time back to Kyrie that way. Yeah. Highly encouraged not bothering with lamp there. I remember you got potions too, right? So, all of another reason not to be too worried about. We're running into it. Right. That's 5 checks. It's a mirror! And it's a big key! And we need a small key. We need a small key. Yep. Okay, we got our small key. Oh, we're going to get the other small key. They were just hand in hand together. The big key.
Oh. Kyrie going for the tile
we are
room
making
choice.
the tile room. We may feel a little bit behind, so we're doing this first. I will say that, in general, it's hurting you. It's such a costly check compared to 4 more checks. But if you're feeling really super behind, I can see some people, playing the meta game in a sense of trying to go against it. So, especially with this kind of seed. He did skip Eastern, to be fair, but... Oh my god, we did with just the right amount of arrows. We did have a pot just in case we needed 5 more arrows, but we had just enough. Something to think about. We do have the mirror shield and can block those mimic shots if we wanted to just stare him in the face. So we got red mail, tempered sword, silverless. I'm hoping our mentees feel pretty comfortable with that for both the climb as well as Ganon at this point. And we are just blasting with the fire rod. We know that Bobsled at least has a green potion. I don't remember what his second bottle is, just to put that out there.
This magic in the climb feels so nice. Just go to town with Fire Rod, right?
Yeah, no, you definitely can. I'm definitely someone that leans more towards slashing or arrowing because that's kind of like the energy speed run strat. Oh no, we're not getting the mirror? Oh no. Can we go underneath? Oh no. Oh no. This is not desirable at the moment. It'll work out, but that's very unfortunate. We dodged the mirror. Faster than death warping, honestly. All right, we're back on the beaten path. Bobsled enters a mimics. Excuse me. Wizropes 1. We gotta hit the switch first, sir. We gotta hit the switch. Oh, I like it. He used the blue cane attack to hit it. Nice. Yeah, Josh, he almost did for you. Remember, we got the mirror shield. We could just stare him in the face and just block if needed. This is something I always encourage mentees to work on, is to work on your GT climb. Like, this is probably the most important part that you can work on to improve your execution, is to be working on the mimics, all the gauntlets, making sure you know your whiz robes. Like, there can be, against certain experienced players, you can cut the time of a gap of 15, 20, 30 seconds depending on the skill level. So I always highly encourage, this is like one of the first places to practice execution wise.
Yeah, it's definitely. I know that I've definitely had mentors say, "Hey, that's really the part that's going to really most commonly, because you always got to do it in all the modes we're in." I know I've
Exactly.
definitely been. I timed a couple of the people who I was mentored by who did NMGs, like how much time it took them to get through. And I was like, that is very fast. So
Yeah.
got my goal, and I'm like nowhere near it, but it's definitely worth practicing, like the escape over and over and over again. Not escape, sorry, the gauntlet.
All good. All good. I think we were leaning out. All right, let's see our Agatu fight. Yeah, I hope you just used that blue potion. Good. All right, got one. Just didn't move up enough for that one. Just got set for 2 there. Oh no. Agatu is like a very difficult boss to line things up. And it's different. There's so many different unique patterns that it's just one of those bosses you really just have to practice, to feel comfortable. But you want to be as, straight up and down or left or right of them as possible, and do that bait just like that. That was actually a very
That was a
solid
nice
for
one.
bobsled. So that's a good example of where you want to lean towards. Is try to stand really close to him, and then push him, and then kind of back away from him to bait the energy ball towards him. All right, let's time this off the back crash. See how much time there's to save. And I think, unfortunately, that mirror was very costly to miss. Looked like it was 50 or 51. A little too early.
Almost the 1-in-1 there. Well, at least the first one, right? Nice cape use. I like that. I'm getting
Absolutely.
more on board with the idea of using cape in this fight if I've got it.
If you got half magic, you got a potion in your pocket. It's definitely worth using cape here. But just be careful if you're a little bit concerned on the magic resource, or you're not very comfortable with triples. Oh, Kyrie, it's okay. You got this. You can walk right through it. Nice. That fire up. There you go.
There you go.
I already like all this movement right now for Ganon. General, when Ganon's at the bottom, I want to be going from like up to north to south, like downwards. And if he's at the top, you want to be going left to right. That is the more comfortable way to be dealing with the fire bat. And the less you diagonal, the more orthogonal the movements, the better chance you have of not getting hit by the fire bat. No, we got knocked down by the mole. Fortunate. Another great time to have the hook shot out to just do a slash and a spin attack to complete the Moldworm 2 fight with Tempered Sword. I think that's just the math in me, Sean, pulling out orthogonal. But basically, I just meant straight up, left, right, or down. And that's it. That's an exploding Ganon. Give your GGs in chat for Bobsled.
Nice
Winning
fight.
the 1-1 tie to move on. Kyrie has a DNF, so see Kyrie in the interview room. Hopefully Bobsled will join soon and we can chat with our racers. Hey Kyrie, how's it going? GG's.
GG's.
Hey Bob, also welcome in. Yes, a deep sigh is completely understandable. A rough ice rod, a rough mirrorless seed.
Yeah, that was one of them.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, go ahead, Kyrie. What do you want to say?
No, you go on.
All right. I will say that both of you were making a lot of the same plays, like really neck and neck for your Dark World access. Kind of, I'll say maybe mixed up between doing Skullwards and Thieves Town, but you guys cleaned up each other after that, and it really felt very solid with most of your decisions. You're like, I want to knock out another Crystal Dungeon pod, and then you kind of had that decision of, all right, we're still needing a lot of medallions, we're still needing an ice rod. Where are we going next? Are we cleaning up some red bomb catfish? Are we doing a pendant ice, a pendant eastern? And
Yeah, I was wondering.
What were you guys thinking about when you were getting to that situation at a pod, if you can recall?
Oh, I was gonna ask how you felt about my decision to do the blacksmith after I finished Vu.
After doing Vu?
Yeah, because I was just standing there and I was just like, well, if I just go get the frog right now, I was like, I can just start this. I didn't feel like there was any reason for me to ever go back, and I was like, well,
right. So when you're in a situation of not having the mirror, which haha was funny in GT, and you're like, I want to protect against the Smith chain in case this is a mirrorless seed. I think that if you're in the Vu area, I think it's completely fine to just grab the Smith and flute and pass him over. But if I recall, I think you were still coming out of Skullwoods at that point. And I think at that exact point, I probably would have not bothered with him. I would have left him for later. But I think if you ended in Thieves Town, and you're like, I could just run over and grab him and pass him over there just to start the Smith chain and maybe do hammer pegs as well. I think that's a very solid play. But when you have a full crystal pod and you're 3 from go, and you still haven't dipped Eastern or Ice, I think I'm leaning away from Smith Chain at that point.
I have a
Personally.
question.
Yeah, that's fair.
Did you also double dip TR?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, you both made that play. Kyrie, you definitely made it a little more dense by completing Hera with it, which I think was a very solid play because you ended up doing Red Bomb to get your Bombos to do Mire, and so you kind of made it a little more dense to look for the Ice Red on the mountain, which I think was a little bit was solid. But I don't think there's any shame in saying, you know what, there's a Crystal Hera dungeon that could have my Ice Rod or a Bombos. Let me just go knock that out. Again, something I was mentioning to Tom was, since Swamp is pendant, you need to have in the back of your mind that this may be a mirrorless seed. So you're not going to have a quick, easy access to Hera. So it's definitely something you should be considering.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely noticed that pretty early. And funny enough, I told myself, "Oh, look, 2 early red crystals. I should do red bomb right away," and then proceeded to push it off until later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was
Yeah.
funny. You're not wrong. We were definitely discussing in chat of like, could you combine doing red bomb into pod just to clear it out, or could you just go straight to pod since you were 3 from go? I don't think either play is wrong in that scenario.
Did
If pod ends up being dense and is like, oh yeah, here's Mire or here's Turtle Rock, then you're probably leaning away from red bomb. But there's no shame in the protecting
Yeah.
against the red bomb play.
I feel like I'm sure you guys noticed there was probably 3 or 4 times where I had a couple plays and I was just like, let's take a gamble. That was basically what it said. So if it's here, then that's huge.
I think that was both of us, honestly.
That's good. I like to hear that. Yeah, because
Oh my
I feel like
gosh.
for a couple of times I was like, there's an obvious dense route. I was just like, but if my item's over here, then I just don't have to go over there at all. So-
Sure.
Did you double dip desert super early as well? Like, did you
Yes.
dip that?
yeah, I checked the
okay.
front of it right away. Yeah.
Yeah, so did I. I was like, oh god, this sucks.
I was really hoping it was
Yeah.
just gonna be dungeon to dungeon. I wouldn't have to do half the overworld stuff I did, but
Yeah, like
there was a point where I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to do some checks, otherwise I'm gonna be leaving a lot out here." So
when I was routing GT too without a mirror, I don't think I've ever actually routed GT without a mirror. So I was really like, kind of like, shit. After I find it, how do I get back as quick as possible? I'm like,
I was kind of
like,
I was kind of hoping that you had not done that before, and that you would get stuck above the hookshot room and not know how to get out. I was like, maybe he doesn't know how to do the bomb jump. That'd be great. I was just
That's funny.
I was like, worst case scenario, I just death warp, I guess.
It was
Yeah,
only
that-
like within the last few weeks that I learned how to get out of that room. So
Yeah, that's generally the plan. A lot of people do like hope full left because obviously if you could make your way full right, then you're in that situation of death warp or just continue to ice Armos and then have to do full left afterwards. Those are generally the plans for that. But something I have to inform you, Kyrie, is you missed the mirror. Would you like to guess how close you were to it before certain holes appeared in Compass Room of GT?
Was it that last check in GT?
It unfortunately was. So unfortunately, Kyrie opened up the holes by opening the top left chest and had to backwards through the torches and yeah.
I was in the back of my mind. I was like, God, that one chest is gonna have mirror, and I was like, well, I opened them up in the wrong order because I'm dumb. Oh well.
I did that recently, and when I went to go hit the shell dude, I knocked myself into the portal.
So
That
you
was
get to
devastating.
get a good laugh about that when you watch it back later. But
Oh,
that was a
boy.
bit unfortunate that you happened to dodge the mirror.
How far into the climb were you?
I was on Aga 2.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that's what. Okay.
I was literally
I'll say
just-
bobsled. You had like a 2-room lead for a bit, and then I think there was some TR that you pulled a little bit more ahead, and then that mirror thing I think kind of a little bit sealed it. That it was just a lot slower for Kyrie to pop out.
Yeah.
Right.
Unfortunately,
So did I give you guys a heart attack on my moth fight or what?
the moth fight was very exciting. I enjoyed it. I mean, in the beginning, I was like getting a little scared. You were down to like 2.5 hearts, and he was bopping you, and then you turned it around. You did. You were getting a lot more spin attacks in, and you cleaned it up. So honestly, congrats on doing a
Yeah,
fighter sword.
I was like, I didn't know how much more damage I need to do. I lost track, and I'm like, I'm at 2 hearts. I already used my fairy. If I die here, I'm gonna be tilted.
Yeah.
And then I
You
lived,
just-
and I was like, alright, let's go.
You just say he did it with fighter sword, so he went back right away.
Yeah, correct. So if you
Yeah.
remember, Kyrie, your master sword would have been on Stumpy if you
Yep,
continued.
yep,
But since you
yep.
turned around and completed Thieves Town School, which is completely fine. I think it's a completely fair play, but unfortunately, it limited you on your sword abilities.
Yeah, my thought process in that was I might as well clear it now, which I'm glad I did because I got my hammer.
Sure, absolutely.
That being said, though, I picked up Stumpy and I'm like, oh, if I didn't do this, I could have just done Pod right after Hype Cave. But I kind of had to save and quit, turn into Smith. And I was like, whatever. I got other things to do.
No, I'm honestly impressed and glad you got your hammer as soon as you did. Tom, do you have any questions?
I think the one that I know I was curious about, Coin and I were talking about it after y'all, I believe it was right after you had dipped TR, you were suddenly down to kind of pick a pendant situation with a smattering of Overworld. I guess I was kind of curious what went to each of your decisions. One of you chose Eastern Palace first, and I believe, Kyrie, I believe you just went straight to Ice Palace.
Yeah, so I was kind of hoping that Bobsled would go Eastern first, and I was like, I'm going to go Ice first, thinking Bobsled would go Eastern first and try and make up some time because I felt behind. I did, so clearly that brought me a little bit closer, just going straight to Ice rather than Eastern first.
Well, you're 100% correct, because that's exactly what happened. It made it very, very close, within 3 or 4 rooms of each other in Ice.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
No,
Yeah, I went to Eastern
exactly.
because I felt like it had the same amount of checks, but it also had Green Pendant. So I was just like, and it's already over there. So I was just like,
Well,
Green Pendant's right beside Eastern, so why not do the 4?
exactly, but that was going through my head. I was like, Bobsled's gonna just try and like route for density. So I'm like, I'm gonna go Ice first because I feel like Bobsled's gonna go Eastern. If it's in Eastern, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I was just trying to avoid Ice and Swamp as much as I could. I was just really hoping, like, I have no reason to ever go into these pedestals or the pendants.
Yeah, it was definitely a rough seed. I'm sad. I'm sad I'm out.
I'm sorry, Kyrie. I
I
hope you learned
will-
a lot from the mentor tournament, at least.
Oh, I have. My 2 years in the mentor tournament have been great, and I really appreciate everyone who makes this tournament happen every year. And I look forward to hopefully getting good enough to where I can mentor myself. Because I would love to help new people get into this rando. But yeah, thank you to everyone who makes this happen. Thank you to all the restreamers, runners who make this just a great tournament to have. Like, I appreciate you all. And Bobsled, bring home the win for the hometown, eh?
Yeah, no doubt.
I want to
Yeah.
see that tempered sword beside your name.
Me too. I was sad last year. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Tom, you have any other final thoughts you wanted to add before we wrap this up?
I guess like my only kind of final thought would be, are either you planning on, because I saw Lumaga say the exact same thing go through my head in chat, are either you planning on doing Kaz boosts to kind of continue some of the progress that you currently, or if your tournament's over, that you have made so far?
Oh yeah, I'm already in the cash boots.
I'm contemplating it. I have a lot on my plate right now. Over in the OTR community, I am organizing the first ever mentor tournament over there. So I have a lot on my plate right now organizing that. So
That's
so
completely
yeah.
excellent. But yeah, no, we would love to have you if you did. I think
Yeah,
we have a week.
I'll
to
consider
consider.
it.
Tom, are you entering it?
Yeah, last night I ran through my seed at 1 a.m. Do not recommend. But yeah,
But you
I
knocked
did
it
my
out,
aptitude
so.
test.
Okay, good. No, again, GG's to Bobsled. You will be moving on. We'll be looking forward to that. Any final thoughts? Otherwise, I'm going to throw you over to Sean.
Yeah, no, all I want to say is, damn it, Sean.
Yeah, I don't know. I would just like to thank my mentors. I feel like there is quite a few tricks that I did today that, I know like hand in hand. I mean, Sean taught me like the stair canceling, and Zax taught me how to mire clip through the wall. I'm sure you got like, I hope I did that. I did that like first try right away. I thought I was having a lot of fun. I was just like, I feel like I'm doing all the things my mentor showed me. So, yeah, I had a good time.
That's fantastic to hear.
Yeah, and I want to
For
say a
what?
quick thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. Thank you to all my mentors. Man, my execution has come so far. Like, even from like the beginning of this year, like my execution has jumped up a level. Like, I'm proud of what I've achieved and how far I've come. So
No, that's
yeah.
great to hear. All right, guys. I guess Sean is having a little technical difficulties, but thanks everyone for watching, and yeah, check the schedule for the next races, and we'd love to have you there. Thanks everyone for watching.